I chose the book Gathering Blue by Lois Lowry, which is the second book in the Giver Quartet. I chose this book because, one, the cover was very interesting. Secondly, it was in a mystery book recommendation pile that Ms. Conn was getting set up. And thirdly, because many of you have recommended Lois Lowry to me. This book is set in a dystopian society, which is obviously in the future. However, a lot of the technology is rather primitive. A majority of the book takes place in a very large mansion, although some of it does take place in a small community full of very small huts and dwellings. The main character who lives in this community is named Kira. She is 2 syllables old, which is how they measure age in this society. I would say she's around 14 in our measurements. She is very strong-minded, very strong-willed, and she has a crippled leg. She's also an extremely talented weaver. Other main characters include a very small boy named Mott and Kira's friend Thomas the Carver. The main plot surrounds the character that I just mentioned, and also a little girl named Jo, who lives in the Fen, a very poor community in this world. She is a very talented singer and probably around 4 years old. But one day, after her mother dies, she disappears, and Kira starts hearing singing and crying underneath her room. And she starts getting really confused about where she is and what's going on in her world, pretty much. The theme of this book, I would say, is compassion, generosity, friendship, and sacrifice, which are all attributes held in very high regard throughout the book. And at the very end, Kira makes a sacrifice that really is so amazing and so huge, just for what she thinks is right and for other people. I would recommend this book to people who like very subtle subplots that seem almost maybe unimportant or just there to make the book a little more interesting. By the end of the book, they really are what's holding up the story, making the story interesting and complicated, and really make a huge arch of complicated and really interesting storyline.